From Labuan Bajo, today's focus is on the third Digital Economic Working Group Forum priority issues, data free flow with trust and cross-border data flow. To know more on the issue, we have TVRI world reporter Deva Kadarosi reporting live from Labuan Bajo. Deva?
The second day of the third Digital Economic Working Group Forum, which held in Labuan Bajo, discussed cross-border data flow and data free flow. So to know more in regards with this, I am now with alternate chair of Digital Economic Working Group Forum, Mr. Dedi. Thank you for being with us in TVRI World. Mr. Dedi, I'm going to ask you a question. What's the highlight of today's meeting?
Yeah, actually, the third DEWG meeting focuses on the two priority issues. The first one is the digital literacy and digital skills, and the second one is the cross-border data flow and data free flow with trust. These two issues have been discussed by G20 member states in a productive and a very fruitful discussion so far, and we hope that we can reach a consensus in the end of the discussion, which is the ministerial meeting that will be held in the beginning of September 2022.
So actually, how significant are the digital literacy and the cross-border data flow and data flow itself?
Yeah, actually, these two topics are very crucial for Indonesia as a developing state because, for example, digital skill and digital literacy is the main issue in developing digital transformation. For example, we built many digital infrastructure and IT development, but without the, prepare uh, society, it cannot be done easily. So the development of the infrastructure should be followed by the readiness of the people, the readiness of the society. So that's why we propose and we table the issue of digital skill and digital literacy to be discussed among the G20 member states to be able to promote the urgency of digital skill and digital literacy in all member states and also at the global level.
So digital transformation also becoming the issues of this meeting. So how the government accelerate the digital transformation so far?
Yeah, actually, Indonesia maintained to do the acceleration of the digital transformation since 2 years ago. So what we do is actually covering at least 4 pillars. The first pillars is the digital infrastructure. We build infrastructure like a base transceiver station, satellite for telecommunication, and so on and so forth. The second one is the digital government, how to build the e-government to be able to serve people better and easier. For example, you can easily, process your national identification number through the e-government system provided by the government. And the third one is actually the digital economy. As we know, the digital economy is one of the important pillars in recovering our economy post-COVID-19. And the fourth one is actually the digital society. How can we prepare the readiness of the people of Indonesia from the basic digital skill, intermediate digital skill, and advanced digital skill, so they can be prepared to the next level of our digital transformation in Indonesia.
Okay. Thank you so much for the time, Mr. Dedi.
Thank you.
And I also spoke earlier with the delegation came from Russia, coming directly to the Digital Economic Working Group Forum. So this is the record. of the Digital Economic Working Group Forum, which held in Labuan Bajo, still discussed in regards with the digital transformation. And for the topics of today is the cross data flow and the data flow itself. So to know more in regards with the general meeting of today, I'm now with the delegates came from Russia, which came here directly to this event. Thank you for being with us in TVRI World. What do you expect actually of this summit?
In general, today, at this meeting, we have two issues, two priority, digital literacy and digital skills, and as you say, cross-border data flow. Regarding the first issue, I guess it's maybe more easy, more clear, but nevertheless, it's raised some issues. But it's an important issue, not only for Indonesia. I guess it's very, how to say, impactable on development of the digital economy. For Russia, it's also actual because during the digital transformations, we need not only how to educate young people in this field, but also we should bring many attention to elder people, even for some people who provide services. Sometimes new services need new skills, and it's really actual. In these topics, we are got some progress. I hope we find appropriate solutions. Of course, we will summarize maybe for next meeting or for some correspondence activity to try to finalize it. And coming back to cross-border data flow, it's maybe most interesting issue because how say there are different views how it should be proceed forward. Should we collect best practice? Should we concentrate on operational aspects? How it be applied? In this case, of course, there are many divergent views regarding national legislation, general legislations, because depend on the practical case from country to country. It may be different. So. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you again a question. So the data free flow is becoming the topic of today. So what's Russia can take part of this data free flow?
I believe main not concern but issue to discuss how we should apply these knowledges, because with our informational partners we make some survey, collect some data. And now we are, face it, how we should push forward regarding our presidency, Indonesian presidency. And now, we in the fire of the discussion.
So what's your opinion about this?
Mostly it focused how we should apply it, because some parties related to general framework, also another parties relate to national domestic legislation, because many of us have already legislation regarding the not maybe cross-border, but data flow, personal data, etc. In this case, we still in finding how to balance these two divergent views.
Thank you so much for the time, Mr. That is the report from Deva Kadarosi, TVRI World. Series of events of Digital Economic Working Group Forum are the digital skills, digital literacy, and cross-border data flow, and also data flow with trust. The two issues are important to manage the development of the global digital ecosystem framework, as stated by the Minister Johnny G. Plate when opening the meeting yesterday.
Johnny Plate said that digital skills and digital literacy is an issue that all should take responsibility, starting from the government, the private sector, and non-government entities. Today's massive use of digital technology have forced the government to prepare the people through skills and digital literacy for the sake of creating digital inclusivity. The minister added that maximizing skills and digital literacy would need quite some time to achieve, but it is definitely achievable. He went on to say data in the future is way grand that many expect compared to today's time. Data management is the responsibility of all, and not only developing countries, but also the responsibility of developed and less developed countries.
On the opening of the Digital Economic Working Group Forum meeting, the Minister of Communication and Informatics, Johnny G. Plate, said that today's time, it is undeniable that the future of data will more grand than what we could imagine. Therefore, issue on cross-border data flow and data free flow with trust becomes an important topic that needed to be discussed. And so what is the cross-border data flow and data flow with trust? Here's the report.
Cross-border data flow is the movement of information between servers across country borders. This movement of data across borders is typically referred to as cross-border data flow, and it has implications for international marketing, banking, and e-commerce. It also enables businesses and consumers to benefit from fewer restrictions on the movement of data. Data needs to be able to move freely. Cross-border data flows have enormous potential for driving economic and social development and are a key foundation in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. A small number of countries have started to explore the mechanism needed to encourage cross-border data flow with the purpose of stimulating innovation and economic growth. Removing data localization requirements and allowing cross-border data flow enables businesses to scale using existing infrastructure and trusted suppliers. Data-free transfer was first proposed by Shinzo Abe, then the Prime Minister of Japan, as a basic principle for rulemaking in the field of cross-border data transfers. After its debut in Davos, the FFT was endorsed in June of 2019 by members of the G20 group of nations. The DFFT, or Data Free Flow with Trust concept, has influenced rulemaking on data-related issues in many countries. Countries around the world have since been working to establish rules for digital trade that align with the DFFT concept.
That is the report from Labuan Bajo. Go back to studio.